Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, this is a much requested video, and I think it's time we brought it to the tarot table. I'm going to be reading today on the lost colony of Roanoke. A lot of you know what that is about. It is, there's a lot of specials on it. But for those of you who don't, I'm just going to give you a quick read about it. As I like to do, I always make sure that my facts are straight. So the lost colony of Roanoke. For those of you who don't know, Roanoke is in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So southeast United States, just above Florida. And there's actually a city called Roanoke in West Virginia, I believe it is, or Virginia. One of them, I can't remember exactly where. Okay, anyways, I digress. So the lost colony of Roanoke. In 1587, John White led a group of people from Britain to found an English colony, settling on Roanoke Island, one of a chain of barrier islands now known as the Outer Banks of North Carolina. White left for more supplies, but on his return 3 years later, found the colony meticulously abandoned, with all the houses and fortifications dismantled with care. Before he left the colony, White had instructed the colonists that if they were taken by force, they were to carve a cross into a nearby tree. But there was no cross on the tree. The only clue was the word Croatoan, the name of a native tribe aligned with the English, which was carved into a post. White took this to mean that the colonists had moved to Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island. Ensuing investigations turned up claims that the colonists had been slaughtered by the Powhatan tribe, but there is no archaeological evidence of this, and a recent re-examination of the primary sources indicates that any massacre that occurred was not of this particular group of colonists, but rather a group of colonists who had arrived earlier. More enduring theories involved integration between the colonists and the Croatoans or other local tribes, but so far no DNA evidence has positively identified any descendants of the colony. So a few things, there was 115 people in the colony, and what was so weird is that it was the whole little colony, all the houses and fortifications were taken apart with care. It's not like the place was burnt down or they were attacked or there was a terrible storm. Like, as we know, there's hurricanes in that area. It was all just dismantled with care as if they were waiting to go. Another thing is why did it take them 3 years? To sail back to England. Even it's the 1500s, but certainly didn't take years to travel the sea. Apparently when he got to England, there was wars going on, there was different supplies weren't around, and he just to get a crew to go back, etc. So that's why it took him 3 years to return. Can you imagine? Oh honey, I'm just running out for a pack of smokes, and 3 years later he shows up and wonders why he changed the couch around. All right, so I'm going to ask, what happened to this lost colony of Roanoke? 115 people disappeared off the face of the earth. They weren't taken by force. There was no natural disaster, like a storm. Their DNA has, no DNA evidence has positively identified any descendants of the colony. So it's not even like, oh, we found one here, or we found one there. Nothing. Now, I don't know how they would know that. I suppose because they came from Britain, I'm sure they have family members that have continued on, and so that's the way they would get the DNA. They would know the general area that they left in Britain. the general DNA of that area. They're much smarter than I am about these things. So what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? What happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Cards are ready. Okay. And I know the light shines on this, but this is the best I can do. Oh, 3 of Wands. They waited and waited and waited and waited for that ship to come back. 3 of Wands is patiently waiting. They waited, look at that, waited for the ship to come back. They waited and waited. 9 of Cups in reverse. That can sometimes be alcohol consumption or drug consumption, wishes not coming true. Ace of Cups in reverse. Uh-oh. 2 of Swords. I'm wondering if something happened to their blood. Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay. I'm thinking something happened, like were they eating poisonous plants, or because the Ace of Cups in reverse can be there's something wrong with your heart, with blood, like was there some kind of poisoning, especially here with the 2 of Swords. They didn't know what was happening. Right? There's, for example, there's evidence that some of the ships had, the crew members had lead poisoning because they had cans filled with food, and the cans were welded together with lead, and the crew actually ended up dying of lead poisoning. That was when they're looking through the Northwest Passage. And I think here they didn't realize, they were blind to what was causing a lot of this heart and blood problems. This 8 of Swords, so what were they released from? King of Pentacles in reverse. The 9 of Swords upright. And the 8 of Cups. You know what? They just absolutely just kind of left. I wonder if they wandered inwards into the States. The people were dying. Interesting, they haven't found any burial grounds there, but if they thought maybe, like, right, if your blood is being poisoned, like maybe they broke out in sores or something, they could have just thrown them into the sea, to tell you the truth, instead of burying them. They were actually in a lot of distress, and they decided to leave. But for some reason, they couldn't carry what they had with them. This King of Pentacles here in reverse. They had to leave it all behind. So why they dismantled it? 4 of Wands upright, Wheel of Fortune upright. I wonder if one of them wandered deep in, right? They have 3 years. I wonder if one of them wandered deep in and said, I found a new place for us. I found a new start for us. It's got water and all kinds of vegetation. We get all kinds of animals to hunt. I think this is the way we need to go. King of Wands, yeah, they did. Somebody in the colony took charge and said, we are all dying here. We're dying. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Is this guy even coming back? Is he even alive? Maybe his ship was tossed around at sea and he never made it to England. I mean, it's been, even after a year, you'd be like, where the hell are you? It takes, let's say a month at the most across the sea, 6 months to get a crew, maybe a month to come back. I'm thinking after a while, after the 3 years, right? I'm thinking they're like, we've got to release ourselves from this area. This area is killing us. There was something in the food that affected their blood or drink, There was some kind of poison that affected their blood. But they didn't know what it was. And they made a decision to leave a lot of things behind and start fresh and start new. And there was a leader who led them out. That's what the King of Wands is. He would have been take charge, take action. Let's go. Let's go. What's the underlying here? Oh, 5 of Cups. Some of them really had a hard time leaving. Crying over spilt milk, all the people that they lost. I'm getting a strong feeling that we have some big numbers here, 9, 8, 9. Of course, the Wheel of Fortune is 10. I'm getting a feeling they lost maybe 80 to 90% of them. And so what was left, they moved on. They decided to cut their losses, because this is Cups and Cups, and go Knight of Swords. Some were attacked. Some were attacked, especially if they wandered into territory where they weren't welcome by the tribes. 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords, 10 of Wands. You know what? I think it would have been too much for them to carry all that stuff. So they decided not to. They made an executive decision here, what to take and what to leave behind. The 7 of Cups. Okay, we'll take this, we'll take that, we'll take this, but we can't take this and we can't take that. We can't carry a house, right? That's a cockroach, believe it or not, on there. We can't carry all this wood to build another house. We can't, but we're going, I don't know, but I'm going to ask, why did they dismantle it? They all went in agreement to leave. The 2 of Cups here in reverse. Death. It's like, if we don't leave, we're going to die. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. 7 of Wands in reverse. The Chariot and the 2 of Wands upright. The 5 of Wands in reverse. I don't think all of them, well, like I said, I think a lot of them passed away. I mean, if they were out of supplies, maybe the food somehow, something is, I think they were poisoned somehow. Maybe bad meat. Maybe they were eating like crabs or something, and the crabs were sick. Right? Because they're on an island. That area is known for crabbing and shrimps and whatnot. I think they wandered deep into what we call now the United States. This, you have to remember, this was 1587. So if it took them 3 years, it was 1590. The United States wasn't even born then, and that would have been all, that would have been all native land. Knight of Wands, Devil in reverse, 3 of Pentacles. They hold the Tower in reverse. I think they all, the 10 of Swords in reverse. I think they just all perished. I think they wandered inland and eventually perished one by one. The Tower in reverse is a slow train wreck. The 10 of Swords here in reverse just tells me that they just all perished. Well, we have the Devil here in reverse. Some people just wouldn't let go of the dream that they would make it there, or they just gave up. Sometimes the Devil in reverse can be that you give up in such a way that you just give up. You sit down and slowly whittle away to nothing. especially here with this Knight of Wands in reverse, you're not moving forward. The Five of Wands in reverse, fighting and struggle. I'm thinking they ran into other tribes that weren't as friendly, or maybe they never even saw a Caucasian European before in their life. I can see the group fell apart in the end, and I think they just one by one, all just died. I don't think there's anything esoteric here at all. I don't think a UFO picked them up. I think they couldn't carry the fortifications and whatnot with them, so they just undid them. And maybe that Croatoan clue, I wonder if they left a message with that Croatoan, and was somebody at the Croatoan tribe left message that we went, west or north or whatever. They would have had basic like compasses and whatnot on them. And the fellow just didn't deliver the message, or didn't get the message that, oh, go see a Croatoan and ask where we went. I think that's exactly what happened. It was this slow tower moment, one by one. They all succumbed. And I don't think Eight of Wands. Yeah, the Strength in reverse, 3. I still think something went to their heart. Justice in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse, not moving forward. I honestly think with this Ace of Cups in reverse and the 3 of Swords upright with the heart, the Strength, I actually think they were being slowly poisoned by whatever they were eating or drinking, whatever they were ingesting here with this 9 of Cups. There might have been 8 of them that tried to move forward, because the Strength card is also an 8. So there might have been 8 of them, and they didn't make it. Judgment. Yeah, that was their second chance. They had to leave where they were. That was their second chance. It didn't work out too well. So there's my reading on the lost colony of Roanoke. I'm not seeing anything supernatural here, or I wonder if they wanted to check there is no DNA because they all died. And you think about it, have you ever seen how thick that bush is in there? And there's all kinds of critters that would, a human body would feed for quite a while, bears and whatnot. That's just what happens out in nature in the forest. All right, so there's my reading on the lost colony of Roanoke. They waited and waited, couldn't wait any longer because they were dying of something, being poisoned, but they didn't know what it was. And one of the leaders said, we have to leave here, but we can't take any of this. And for some reason, they dismantled it and put it in nice, neat piles. Maybe they were thinking, if we dismantle it and we have to come back, then it'll be in better shape than if we left the buildings and a big storm came and crashed everything. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you very much for the suggestion. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm more than willing to read on others. I've got a long list here, but put your favorites down there. And if there's more than a couple of you that want the same thing, make sure you like it, and I can see which ones you want me to read on next. Take good care. See you online. Bye for now.